Blood splattered across the emergency room floor as the gurney crashed through the double doors. Edna's hands moved on instinct, snapping on latex gloves while her eyes assessed the damage. 7 gunshot wounds. Maybe 8. The man's designer suit was shredded, soaked crimson. Male, approximately 30 years old, multiple GSWs to the chest and abdomen, the paramedic rattled off. BP dropping fast. His barely hanging on. Edna leaned over the dying man, her stethoscope already against his chest. That's when his eyes opened. Dark. Intense. Focused entirely on her despite the pain that should have rendered him unconscious. His hand shot up and gripped her wrist with surprising strength. "Don't let go," he whispered in accented English, his Korean more fluent when he repeated it. "Please. Sir, I need my hands to save your life. Then save me. But don't let go." Dr. Park rushed in, barking orders, but the man's grip never loosened. Through 6 hours of surgery, while they extracted bullets and repaired torn organs, his fingers remained locked around Edna's hand. The surgical team worked around their joined hands, occasionally shooting her bewildered looks. She'd never seen anything like it. He should have been under, completely unconscious, but somehow his subconscious refused to release her. When the surgery finally ended and they wheeled him to recovery, his hand went slack. Edna flexed her cramped fingers, staring at the red marks his grip had left on her dark skin. "Who is he?" she asked the nurse. "No ID. Probably Yakuza or something. 3rd gunshot victim this month from that area." Edna should have left it at that. Should have finished her shift and gone home to her small apartment near the hospital. Instead, she found herself checking on him during her rounds. Once. Twice. 3 times before her shift ended. He woke on the 3rd day. His eyes found her immediately, as if he'd known exactly where she'd be standing. "You stayed. It's my job. Your name is Edna." He'd read her badge. Even while dying, he'd memorized her name. "I'm Jisoo. You should rest, Mr. Jisoo. Just Jisoo." He tried to sit up and winced. "You saved my life. The surgical team saved your life." "No. You did." His gaze held hers. "I saw you. When I was dying, I saw your face. You brought me back." Edna felt heat creep up her neck. She'd been a nurse for 5 years in Seoul, had treated countless patients, but none had ever looked at her like this. Like she was the only thing in the room worth seeing. "I'll check on you tomorrow," she managed, heading for the door. "Edna." The way he said her name made her pause. "Thank you." The next day, her supervisor called her to the nurse's station. "Someone left these for you. Black roses. 24 of them, arranged in an expensive crystal vase." The card read simply, "For the woman who holds life in her hands. J. Looks like you have an admirer," her colleague teased. Edna touched one velvet petal. Black roses. Not red. Something about that choice unsettled her and thrilled her in equal measure. Jisoo was discharged a week later, against medical advice. Edna happened to be at the nurse's station when he walked out, moving stiffly but determined. He stopped when he saw her. "Have dinner with me." "I don't think that's appropriate." "Why?" "I'm no longer your patient." He stepped closer. "I want to thank you properly." The flowers were enough. The flowers were a beginning. His smile was dangerous. "Say yes, Edna." She should have said no. Should have recognized the warning signs, the expensive suit that couldn't hide the gun holster beneath his jacket, the way hospital security straightened when he passed. But when he looked at her with those dark eyes, she found herself nodding. Dinner became dinners. Dinners became late nights in his penthouse apartment overlooking Seoul. He never told her exactly what he did, and she never asked. There were rules to their arrangement. No questions about his work. No strings. No emotions. Just heat and hunger and the way he touched her like she was something precious and forbidden all at once. "You're beautiful," he whispered against her throat one night, his hands sliding beneath her shirt. "Do you know that? You've mentioned it. I could mention it every day and it wouldn't be enough." He kissed her slowly, thoroughly, until she forgot her own name. "Stay with me tonight." She did. She stayed many nights, learning the map of his body, the scars that told stories he wouldn't share. He was intense, demanding, taking her to the edge again and again until she shattered in his arms. But there was always a wall between them, something he held back even in the most intimate moments. 3 weeks into their arrangement, everything changed. Edna was working her night shift at Club Deluxe, her second job that helped pay off nursing school loans. The club was packed, music pounding, when she saw him at the end of the bar. Same face. Same build. But something was different. She made her way over, weaving through the crowd. "Jisoo, what are you doing here?" The man looked up, and she saw it then. The pain in his eyes. The empty bottles surrounding him. The way he held himself like someone barely keeping it together. "Leave me alone," he slurred. "You said you'd never come to my work." She touched his shoulder. "What happened?" He shrugged off her hand. "I said leave me alone." But he looked so broken, so unlike the controlled man she knew. Edna made a decision. At closing time, when he could barely stand, she called a taxi. "Come on. You can't drive like this." He leaned heavily against her. "Why do you care?" "Because I do." She got him into the taxi, gave her address. "Let's get you somewhere safe." In her apartment, she helped him to her couch. He caught her wrist, pulled her down beside him. When he looked at her, his eyes were wet. "Mina," he whispered. "I'm sorry. I'm so sorry." "Jisoo, I'm not." But he was kissing her, desperate and hungry and completely different from the controlled passion she knew. This was raw, unfiltered, real. "Tell me you love me," he begged against her mouth. "Please. Tell me I'm not alone." Something in Edna's chest cracked open. He'd never been vulnerable like this. Never let her see beneath the surface. "I'm here," she whispered. "I'm right here." They made love on her bed, and it was different. Slower. More tender. He touched her like she was the answer to every question he'd never asked. When he whispered "I love you" in Korean against her skin, Edna let herself believe it. Let herself feel the emotions she'd been holding back. Afterward, he held her close, his face buried in her neck. She felt his tears on her skin and held him tighter. Morning light crept through her curtains. Edna stirred, reaching for him, but the bed beside her was empty. She heard movement in her small living room and smiled, wrapping herself in a sheet. "Hey, I can make us breakfast." The man turning to face her was a stranger. Same face as Jisoo, but his eyes were wild with panic. "Who the hell are you?" he demanded. Edna stumbled backward. "What? Where am I? What did you do to me?" He grabbed his shirt from the floor, yanking it on. "Did you drug me?" "Jisoo, stop playing around. This isn't funny. My name is Jihoon." He was shouting now. "I don't know you. I've never seen you before in my life. But last night, the words died in her throat as she really looked at him. The same face, yes, but the scar on his eyebrow was on the wrong side. The way he stood was different. Everything was different. "Oh my God. Stay away from me." Jihoon backed toward the door. "I don't know what kind of game this is, but please, just wait. Let me explain." But he was gone, the door slamming behind him. Edna sank to the floor, her mind racing. It wasn't possible. It couldn't be. She spent the next 2 days in a daze, going through the motions at the hospital. When Jisoo appeared on the third day with more flowers, she nearly screamed. "You look upset," he said, frowning. "What's wrong? What's wrong? Are you serious right now?" "Edna, I don't understand." "Saturday night. At my apartment. Why did you pretend you didn't know me?" Jisoo's frown deepened. "Saturday I was in Busan. I had business. I texted you, remember?" Her phone. She grabbed it, scrolled back. There it was. A text from Jisoo's number, sent Saturday afternoon. "Business trip. Back Monday. Miss you already." "I don't understand," she whispered. "Neither do I. What happened Saturday?" Instead of answering, Edna pulled up her phone's browser, fingers shaking as she typed, Kim Jisoo Seoul. The first result made her blood run cold. A news article with a photo of 2 men. Identical men. The twin blades of Seoul, Kim Jisoo and Kim Jihoon expand territory in underground war. She showed him the screen, watched his expression shutter closed. You never told me you had a brother. An identical twin brother. Jisoo's jaw tightened. It's complicated. Is he dangerous? We both are. He took the phone from her hand, set it aside. But I would never hurt you. You have to believe that. I don't know what to believe anymore. Edna pulled away when he tried to touch her. I need time to think. Edna. Please. Just go. He left, and she spent the rest of her shift wondering if she just ended things with the most dangerous man she'd ever met. But more than that, she couldn't stop thinking about Jihoon. The way he'd held her. The vulnerability in his eyes. The way he'd said I love you like the words were being torn from his soul. A week later, she was closing up at Club Deluxe when she felt eyes on her. She turned, and there he was. Jihoon. Watching her from across the room with an intensity that made her skin prickle. She should have walked away. Should have gone straight home. Instead, she found herself walking toward him. You're following me. Yes. He didn't deny it. I had to see you again. Why? Because I can't stop thinking about that night. Jihoon moved closer. I know I should. I know it was wrong, that I was drunk, that I thought you were someone else. But Edna, I can't forget. You called me Mina. My ex. She left me that night. He laughed bitterly. But when I woke up with you, when I realized what happened, I was terrified. Not because we slept together, but because some part of me didn't want it to be a mistake. Edna's heart hammered. You need to leave. Tell me you didn't feel it too. That connection between us. He was close enough now that she could smell his cologne, different from Jisoo's but just as intoxicating. Tell me it meant nothing, and I'll walk away. I can't. Why not? Because I'm with your brother. The words hung between them like a grenade. Jihoon's eyes widened, then narrowed. You're with Jisoo? Yes. We've been seeing each other for almost a month. Does he know? About us? No. Edna wrapped her arms around herself. I didn't know you existed until after. Jihoon was quiet for a long moment, processing. Then he did something unexpected. He smiled. So you're the reason my brother's been different lately. What do you mean? Jisoo doesn't do relationships. He doesn't bring women flowers or spend consecutive nights with them. He certainly doesn't look at his phone every 5 minutes waiting for texts. Jihoon's smile turned sharp. But he's been doing all of that. I thought he was getting soft. Now I know why. This is insane. You're brothers. Twins. We can't. Can't what? He stepped closer, backing her against the wall. Can't acknowledge that something happened between us? Something real? It was a mistake. Was it? His hand came up, fingertips tracing her jaw. Because it felt like fate to me. Like I was supposed to meet you. Supposed to feel what I felt. Edna's breath caught. This was wrong. She was with Jisoo. But Jihoon's touch awakened something different in her, something she couldn't name. Tell me to leave, Jihoon whispered, his lips inches from hers. Tell me you choose him. She should have. Should have pushed him away and run. Instead, she grabbed his collar and pulled him into a kiss. It was desperate, hungry, nothing like the controlled passion she shared with Jisoo. Jihoon kissed like a drowning man, like she was oxygen and he'd been underwater too long. His hands gripped her waist, pulling her closer as he deepened the kiss. We can't, Edna gasped, even as her fingers tangled in his hair. This is wrong. I know. He kissed her neck, her collarbone, his hands sliding beneath her shirt. But I can't stop. Neither could she. They stumbled into the back alley, hidden by shadows and the pounding bass from inside. He pressed her against the brick wall, his body hard against hers. I need you, Jihoon groaned, his hands everywhere at once. Tell me you need me too. I do, she admitted, lost in the feeling of him. God help me, I do. They came together in a rush of desperate need, nothing gentle about it. He took her hard and fast, swallowing her moans with brutal kisses. When she shattered around him, he followed, his face buried in her throat as he whispered her name like a prayer. Afterward, they stood in the alley breathing hard, reality crashing back in. What have we done? Edna whispered. Jihoon pulled her close. Something we can't undo. The next week was torture. Edna saw Jisoo 3 times, each encounter leaving her sick with guilt. He was tender with her, affectionate in ways he'd never been before. He held her hand in public, kissed her forehead, told her she was special. I want more than what we have, he said over dinner at an expensive restaurant. I want you to be mine. Really mine. Edna's throat tightened. Jisoo. I know we said no strings. But I'm breaking that rule. He reached across the table, took her hand. Say you'll be exclusive with me. That you won't see anyone else. She thought of Jihoon. The way he looked at her. The texts he'd been sending that she hadn't answered. I need time. Time for what? Jisoo's eyes narrowed slightly. Is there someone else? No. The lie tasted bitter. I just need to think. He studied her face, then nodded slowly. Okay. Take your time. But Edna, I don't share. When you're mine, you're only mine. Understand? The possessiveness in his tone should have scared her. Instead, it sent heat through her veins. I understand. The next day, Jisoo showed up at the hospital during her lunch break with a gift box. Inside was a diamond bracelet, delicate and expensive. It's too much, Edna protested. Nothing's too much for you. He took the bracelet out, clasped it around her wrist. Wear this. Let everyone know you belong to someone. I don't belong to anyone. Not yet. His smile was slow, confident. But you will. He kissed her in front of the nurse's station, deep and possessive, marking his territory. When he pulled back, his eyes were dark with promise. Think about my offer. After he left, Edna stared at the bracelet on her wrist. It felt like a chain. A beautiful, expensive chain. Her phone buzzed. A text from an unknown number. Meet me. We need to talk. Jihoon. She should have deleted it. Should have blocked the number. Instead, she found herself texting back. Where? They met at a small cafe far from both the hospital and Club Deluxe. Jihoon was already there, sitting in a corner booth. He looked tired, haunted. Thank you for coming, he said when she slid in across from him. This is a bad idea. I know. But I can't stop thinking about you. He noticed the bracelet on her wrist, his jaw tightening. He gave you that. Yes. His claiming you. It's just a bracelet. Nothing Jisoo does is just anything. Jihoon reached across the table, his finger tracing the diamonds. His telling the world you're his. That's how he operates. He sees something he wants, and he takes it. And you? Edna pulled her hand back. How do you operate? I'm not as subtle as my brother. When I want something, I fight for it. His eyes met hers. And I want you, Edna. Not as a possession. Not as a prize. I want you because that night we spent together showed me something I'd forgotten. What it feels like to really connect with someone. You thought I was meaner. At first. But somewhere during that night, I knew. I knew you weren't her. You were something better. Something real. He leaned forward. Tell me you felt it too. What I felt doesn't matter. I'm with Jisoo. Are you? Or is he with you? Jihoon's question cut deep. Does he know you? Your dreams? Your fears? Does he know you work 2 jobs to pay off student loans? That you came to Seoul alone when you were 22? That you cry during sad movies but hide it because you think emotions make you weak? Edna's breath caught. How do you know all that? Because that night, when I thought you were meaner, I talked. I told you things. And you talked back. You told me about your life. Your hopes. His voice softened. You told me you wanted someone who saw you. Really saw you. Not just the beautiful woman or the capable nurse, but the whole person. Tears burned her eyes. Stop. I see you, Edna. All of you. And I'm falling in love with what I see. Don't say that. Why not? Because it's true. He stood, came around to her side of the booth. I know this is complicated. I know Jisoo was first. But Edna, you have to choose. And you have to choose based on what you feel, not what you think you should feel. Before she could respond, her phone rang. Jisoo's name flashed on the screen. Answer it, Jihoon said. Let him hear my voice. Let's stop hiding. Are you insane? Edna grabbed her bag, stood. I can't do this. She ran from the cafe, but Jihoon's words echoed in her head. Choose. Choose based on what you feel. But what did she feel? With Jisoo, she felt desired, protected, claimed. He was intense and commanding, taking charge in a way that made her feel secure. But with Jihoon, she felt seen. Known. Like her soul recognized his on some fundamental level. How could she choose between passion and connection? Between being wanted and being understood? The answer came 3 days later at the hospital. Edna was finishing her shift when Jisoo appeared, flowers in hand. Not black roses this time. Red ones. Classic. Romantic. I couldn't wait, he said, pulling her into a kiss right there in the hallway. Have you thought about my offer? Jisoo, we're at my work. I don't care. He kissed her again, harder, his hand sliding to the small of her back. Tell me you'll be mine. She was about to respond when she saw movement over his shoulder. Jihoon, standing at the end of the hallway, a visitor's pass clipped to his shirt. He must have been coming to see her. The brothers locked eyes, and the temperature in the hallway dropped 20 degrees. Brother, Jisoo said, not releasing Edna. What brings you here? You know why I'm here. Jihoon's voice was deadly calm as he walked closer. The question is, does she? Jisoo's grip on Edna tightened. Stay out of this. Out of what? Your relationship. Jihoon's smile was sharp. Hard to stay out when I'm already in it. Edna's heart stopped. Jihoon, don't. Don't what? Tell him the truth. Jihoon looked at his brother, challenge clear in his eyes. She deserves honesty. So do you. What truth? Jisoo's voice was ice. What is he talking about, Edna? She opened her mouth, but no words came. Hospital staff were starting to notice, keeping their distance but watching. The air crackled with tension. Nothing happened, she finally managed. He's just. Lying to him won't help, Jihoon interrupted. I slept with her. Before I knew she was yours. The hallway went silent. Jisoo's hand dropped from Edna's back, his expression going blank. That was somehow worse than rage. When, he asked quietly, does it matter? Jihoon shot back. It matters to me. Jisoo's eyes cut to Edna. When? The night you were in Busan, she whispered. I thought he was you. He was at the club, drunk, and I thought. You thought he was me. Jisoo's laugh was bitter. So you took him home. Took him to your bed. I didn't know. Tears streamed down her face now. I swear, I didn't know about you two until after. And after? Jisoo's voice hardened. After you knew? What's his excuse for the texts? For meeting with you? Edna's stomach dropped. How did you? I'm not stupid. I saw the way you've been looking at your phone. The guilt in your eyes. He took a step back from her. I gave you everything. Protection. Pleasure. My trust. And you betrayed me with my own brother. It wasn't like that, Jihoon said. She didn't betray you. Neither of us meant. Shut up. Jisoo's hand moved to his jacket, and Edna saw the gun beneath. You knew she was mine. Yet you pursued her anyway. She's not property, Jisoo. She's a woman. She gets to choose. Choose. Jisoo's laugh echoed off the walls. She already chose. She chose to lie. To sneak around. To play us both for fools. That's not fair, Edna said, finding her voice. I never meant to hurt anyone. But you did. Jisoo looked at her, and for the first time, she saw real pain beneath the anger. I let you in. Me. I don't let anyone in, and I let you past every wall, every defense. I gave you pieces of myself I've never given anyone. I know. And I'm sorry. Sorry doesn't fix this. He turned to Jihoon. And you. My brother. My twin. The one person who's supposed to have my back always. I do have your back. But I won't step aside just because you saw her first. Jihoon's voice was firm. You don't own her. Neither of us do. She's her own person, and she deserves to make her own choice. Fine. Jisoo's eyes were cold now, his walls slamming back into place. Let her choose. Right here, right now. You can't be serious, Edna said. I'm completely serious. Jisoo crossed his arms. You want to talk about honesty? Let's be honest. You've been torn between us. Sleeping with me while thinking about him. So choose. Do you want the brother who gave you stability and protection? Or the one who showed up at the worst possible time and made you feel things you weren't ready for? Jisoo, please. Choose, Edna. Because I won't share you. I won't sit back and wonder if you're thinking about him when you're in my arms. I need all of you or none of you. She looked between them. Jisoo, standing rigid and controlled, his pain hidden behind ice. Jihoon, open and vulnerable, his heart in his eyes. How had her life become this? I can't, she whispered. Not like this. Then you've already chosen. Jisoo turned to leave, but Jihoon grabbed his arm. Don't walk away. Not from her, not from this. What do you want from me? Jisoo jerked free. You want me to accept sharing her? To play nice while we both court the same woman? We're not kids anymore, Jihoon. We can't share everything. We shared everything once. Before the business, before the territory wars, before we let Seoul's underworld turn us into monsters. Jihoon's voice cracked. She's not territory to fight over. She's a woman who deserves better than this. Then give her better. Take her. Jisoo's voice was hollow. I'm done. You don't mean that, Edna said, moving toward him. Jisoo, please. Don't. He held up a hand. Don't chase me. Don't call me. Don't show up at my place. We're done. He walked away, and Edna felt something tear inside her chest. She started after him, but Jihoon caught her arm. Let him go. He needs time to cool down. You don't understand. When Jisoo says done, he means it. He doesn't forgive. He doesn't forget. Maybe that's his problem. Jihoon turned her to face him. Edna, look at me. Really look at me. I know this is messy. I know you care about him. But you can't build a life on fear of someone's reaction. You have to choose based on what's in your heart. My heart is breaking. She pulled away from him. Because of both of you. Because of this impossible situation that I never asked for. You're right. You didn't ask for this. Neither did any of us. But here we are. Jihoon moved closer. So what are we going to do about it? Before she could answer, her supervisor appeared, looking nervous. Nurse Olayemi, is everything all right? Security called about a disturbance. Edna wiped her eyes. Everything's fine. I was just leaving. Actually, Jihoon said, I need to speak with her. Just 5 more minutes. The supervisor looked between them, clearly uncomfortable, then nodded and left. When they were alone again, Jihoon took both of Edna's hands in his. I'm not going to pressure you. I'm not going to demand you choose right now. But I want you to know something. He brought her hands to his lips, kissed her knuckles gently. That night we spent together, when I thought you were Mina, I realized something when I woke up. For the first time since the breakup, I didn't hurt. For the first time in months, I felt peace. And when I figured out it was you, a stranger, who gave me that, I knew I had to find you again. Jihoon. Let me finish. I've spent my whole life as one half of a pair. The twin blades. Jisoo and Jihoon. Never just me. But with you, I felt like a whole person. Like I didn't need to be defined by my brother or my reputation or my business. I was just a man falling for an incredible woman. Tears streamed down Edna's face. You don't even know me. Then let me. Give me time to know every part of you. Your dreams, your fears, your favorite foods, the songs that make you cry. He cupped her face. I'm not asking you to choose me right now. I'm just asking you not to choose him out of guilt or obligation. Choose what's real. What if I can't choose at all? Then we'll figure it out. Together. He kissed her forehead. But Edna, you need to understand something about my brother and me. We've been competing our whole lives. For our father's approval. For territory. For power. But I don't want to compete for you. I want to win you. There's a difference. And if I choose Jisoo, Jihoon's smile was sad. Then I'll step back. It'll kill me, but I'll do it. Because I care about your happiness more than my own. He stepped back, releasing her. Think about what you want. Not what you think you should want. What you actually want. And when you're ready, call me. He left, and Edna stood alone in the hallway, surrounded by the ruins of her carefully constructed life. The bracelet on her wrist caught the fluorescent light, diamonds sparkling like tears. She'd come to Seoul 5 years ago running from a past she didn't want to talk about. She'd built 2 lives, kept herself safe by never letting anyone too close. Then 2 men crashed through her walls on the same face, offering her different versions of what love could be. Jisoo offered passion and protection. The safety of being chosen, claimed, cherished. He was intensity and heat and the promise that she'd never be alone. Jihoon offered connection and understanding. The vulnerability of being truly seen, known, accepted. He was tenderness and truth and the promise that she'd never have to hide. But the question remained, could she have both? Or would choosing one mean destroying the other? And more importantly, what did the power of a woman mean when caught between the twin blades of Seoul? Did she have the power to choose? Or would their world, their rules, their history choose for her? Edna looked down at the diamond bracelet, then at her phone showing missed calls from both brothers. One from Jisoo, saying simply, "I'm sorry. Can we talk?" Another from Jihoon, "No pressure. But I'm here when you're ready." She took a breath, squared her shoulders, and made a decision. Not about which brother to choose, but about what came next. Because if there was one thing Edna Oleyemi had learned in her 27 years, it was that power didn't come from being chosen. It came from doing the choosing. The story was far from over. In fact, it was just beginning. If you're Team Jisoo or Team Jihoon, drop a comment below. Who do you think Edna should choose? And don't forget to subscribe for part 2, where Edna makes her choice and the real danger begins. Hit that like button if you want to see what happens when love and loyalty collide in Seoul's dangerous underworld. Trust me, you won't want to miss what comes next.